Alright, so in this video we're taking a look at a little grooming or manicure type set. First, a couple of images, and then we'll take a little closer look. Okay, so as stated, we're taking a look at this little manicure grooming type kit, and it has sort of a soft, I don't know exactly what you call it, almost like felt sort of a feel to it, and it has a nice little zipper right here. It's the shape of a little hand. I don't know how well that shows up for you, but the zipper actually moves pretty well. No issues with the friction. Some of the zippers on cases like these can be kind of sticky sometimes. And then when you open this up, you have this little cleaning cloth. You have clippers, which is more of a straight, normal type clipper. Then you have an angled clipper, so you can get into the areas, especially like if you have hangnails and such. And then you have these, which kind of look like wire cutter snippers. But obviously they're made for the nails, especially the thicker, stronger nails. They have a slight curve to them. And they're very sharp, and they have a very good high quality feel. All of these things actually feel really way better quality than I expected. They actually have a really nice feel as far as the spring, and the overall metal just has a nice thick, feel to it. Doesn't feel weak or anything. And these points, extremely sharp. Be careful. Let me slide that back in there. Just caught the edge of my finger there. Alright, and then here, this little tool here, I think they actually suggest this be used for the ear. I'm not sure I feel comfortable with that personally, but I suppose that's something people do. And it is sort of rounded, so it's not going to poke or hurt. You could also probably use this to clean out underneath your nails if you wanted to, but I believe it lists on the actual listing that this is for your ear. So do what you will. And then you have this, which has sort of a little fork right there, a little fork, and it's a little bit of a sharp piece, and that's going to allow you to kind of trim away excess skin and everything. How well that works for you, I guess, is going to depend on how sensitive you are as far as your skin, because you can easily hurt yourself with something like this if you're not careful. However, it doesn't have super pointy tips, so I don't think it'll be a real problem for most people. Shouldn't be, I would hope. And then here, the little plastic piece on there, you have a set of tweezers, and I like these because they're not pointy, they're angled, so you can use the point if you need to, and it's actually very sharp again. But you have that beveled edge. They come together really well. They don't have a gap like some of them can be off sometimes. So, and of course they do spring back really well, no problem. So that would be really good because you have a little bit of a larger surface area, but you also have the precision of a point if you needed to use that, so that's good. Next, you have these little scissors. Actually have a pretty good feel. You can hear that sound. Actually sounds pretty nice. And these are going to be intended to clip nose hairs and such. You could probably use them for your ears as well if you wanted to. But the good thing about these is, as you can see, the tip, it's not really a blunted tip, but it's like a rounded tip. So you're not going to like stick into one of your orifices and create, hopefully you're not going to create any real damage or injury, because it does have that sort of rounded off edge. Now they're thin because they're scissors, so obviously if you're not careful you could potentially cut yourself, but they are designed for that, and if you're careful and keep in mind having that rounded tip, you're going to decrease the likelihood of injury, so that's good. Let's slide those back in. And last but not least, you have a metal file. Now this metal file has a rounded edge, some have pointed, so you can't use that to clean out from under your fingernails, which is why I suggest using the other tool, which is designed for the ear but probably more useful for your fingernails. So it's like an emery type board, but it's a metal type file, and all of the tools, including the tweezers, so all of these tools here that are have a flat surface, including the actual clippers, have sort of a design and sort of a divot area, which gives you a little handhold type area and grip, and then you have this little grooved area, so that's going to give you a little more grip as well, so you can file down your fingernails and such as needed. And just to go back so you can see, we do have these clippers, and these work really well. Some have a real flimsy feel, and when you go to press down on some, I found the ones that have sort of a triangular shape right here, what you run into is when you push down, if you're off just by a little bit, you're going to have it want to turn on you one way or the other, or your finger's going to slip off. This one has sort of a squared off area, gives you more surface area, meaning more grip, and it has that same textured pattern, and that is on both sides. So when you're using it or not, you're going to have that little textured pattern, and there's no texture on the bottom, but that's going to give you the ability to clip, and hopefully because of the design, more stability in clipping. So yeah, these feel really good as well. They don't have a like when you bend when you try to mash these down, they don't feel like if you squeeze a little harder, there's a little flex to it. But some, they feel like they're really thin and cheap, and they kind of want to fold a little bit easier, I think. So that's pretty nice. Slide that back in, and although we already kind of glanced at it, we'll take a look. This is that beveled edge. That's going to get right down into the corner areas, especially like for hangnails and such. And same thing as the other, very, very sharp, good quality feel. Doesn't have a crazy amount of flex to the metal itself. Doesn't feel like it's going to break. And none of these are the ones that have the integrated little file on those, because you have the separate file. So I just wanted to share that with you. I think these are really nice to have. They're compact, and this is a very nice little case. I like the color gray personally. Oh, and you do have this little cleaning cloth, as I mentioned, so if you want to keep that in there, you can keep the tools kind of polished up so that fingerprints don't get on there if you care about that. And you just use those maybe whenever you're doing a little bit of your filing, cleaning up on your fingernails and such. It can drop on there, kind of collect a little bit, and then you can use that and kind of dump it and empty it, make it a little bit easier on cleanup. But because of the small size, you have everything right there ready to go. It tucks away really nicely in your cabinets or in a bag for travel purposes, and overall it's just really seemingly well made, and I imagine it'll last quite a long time. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's it. I can't think of anything else relevant that might be good for you to know. I don't have anything to really clip, and I have really horrible fingernails because of some health issues and such that affect that. But by any means, that's it. I hope you found this useful as far as knowing what each item is, and that they do have a good quality feel, so it's a valuable purchase. Value for the money. Anyway, link below if you want to find out more. That's it. Thanks for watching.